There are many ways to tell the story of America. It can be found in documents and dates, in monuments and museums, in moments of triumph and times of trial. But as America approaches its 250th anniversary, perhaps the most meaningful way to understand the nation is to experience it the way it has always been discovered, along the road. America is, at its core, a journey. From the first settlements along the Atlantic coast to the far reaches of the Pacific, the nation has grown through movement. Through ideas, opportunity, exploration, and the people who carried their hopes from one place to another. Highways and byways have long connected these places, linking communities, cultures, and chapters of a story still being written. In this special America 250 Byways video, we invite you to travel that story across 6 distinct regions of the country. The journey begins in New England, where the foundations of independence first took shape. It continues through the Mid-Atlantic, where America found its voice, built its institutions, and stepped onto the world stage. In the Southeast, the story deepens, reflecting both the struggles and the progress that have helped define the American experience. Across the Great Lakes and Midwest, we discover the nation at work, shaped by industry, agriculture, innovation, and the enduring strength of its communities. Farther west, the Great Plains and Rockies open into wide horizons, where trails, railroads, and roads carried generations in search of opportunity. And finally, in the far west and Pacific, the journey reaches the edge of the continent, a place of arrival, reinvention, and new beginnings. Together, these regions form more than a map. They tell the story of a nation shaped by its landscapes, its people, and its enduring sense of possibility. As America reaches this historic milestone, we look back with reflection, look around with appreciation, and look ahead with curiosity. Because the American story is not finished. It continues in the towns we visit, the roads we travel, the communities we encounter, and the discoveries waiting just beyond the next horizon. From coast to coast, America remains a journey. And like every great journey, it begins with a single road. Before there was a United States, there were small towns, harbors, and winding roads, places where bold ideas took hold, and a nation slowly began. This is New England, where the American journey begins. Stretching across 6 states, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine, New England offers a journey through the earliest chapters of America's story. For travelers exploring the highways and byways of history, this isn't just a destination. The story often starts in Boston, where history unfolds block by block. The Freedom Trail connects the places where resistance turned into revolution, meeting houses, historic churches, and the harbor where defiance changed the course of history. Just beyond the city, Lexington and Concord, quiet towns today, but once the site of the first shots of the American Revolution. Moments that would echo far beyond New England, and even earlier, Plymouth, where the Pilgrims arrived, seeking a new beginning in an unfamiliar land. Here, history feels close, grounded in both legend and legacy. Heading north, the story meets the sea. In Maine, rugged coastlines, working harbors, and historic lighthouses define the landscape. In Portland, cobblestone streets and waterfront views reflect centuries of maritime life. Further along, small fishing villages continue traditions that have endured for generations. These coastal byways offer some of the most scenic drives in America, cliffs, coves, and ocean views at every turn. Perfect for travelers, and ideal for group tours with unforgettable stops along the way. To the south, Rhode Island delivers something entirely different. In Newport, the cliff walk blends natural beauty with Gilded Age grandeur, where ocean views meet historic mansions of America's past elite. Away from the coast, another New England emerges. In Vermont, scenic roads wind through rolling hills and mountain valleys, especially vibrant during the fall. Village greens, white steeples, local farms, a slower pace that reflects a deep connection to tradition. In New Hampshire, the landscape becomes more dramatic. The White Mountains offer one of New England's most iconic drives, with winding roads and sweeping views. Routes like the Kankomagus Highway combine accessibility with unforgettable scenery, perfect for all travelers. New England is not only where America began, it's where it grew. In Connecticut, Cities like Hartford and New Haven reflect a legacy of innovation and enterprise. Historic mills and manufacturing centers once powered the early American economy. Along the Connecticut River Valley, the journey becomes quieter. A reflective drive through landscapes shaped by both history and progress. Beyond its well-known landmarks, New England is filled with vibrant destinations. Providence offers arts and culture. Burlington overlooks Lake Champlain. Portsmouth preserves its maritime roots. And in Maine, Bar Harbor serves as the gateway to Acadia National Park, one of the most scenic destinations in the region. Even the food tells the story. From lobster rolls along the coast to maple syrup in the north, New England's flavors reflect its heritage and landscape. As America approaches its 250th anniversary, there is no better place to reflect on its origins than New England. Here, the past isn't distant. It's part of everyday life. From the first settlements, to the birth of independence, to the traditions that continue today, New England is more than a starting point. It's a reminder that every journey has a beginning. And in New England, every byway leads back to where it all began. Stay with us as we continue our America 250 journey. There's a stretch of America where ideas turned into institutions, where speeches became laws, where power still moves the needle. We call it the Mid-Atlantic, America's power corridor. Start in Philadelphia. Inside Independence Hall, a bold idea became a nation. The Declaration of Independence is signed. The Constitution debated. The Liberty Bell still cracks with meaning, but Philadelphia isn't a museum. It's alive. Colonial streets. There is the Reading Terminal Market. We find neighborhoods that feel historic and current at the same time, where streets are walkable, welcoming, foundational. Next, we head south and those ideas get built in stone. In Washington, D.C. The National Mall is a timeline you can walk. Here we find the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. We view the U.S. Capitol building and visit the Smithsonian Institution. This isn't just memory, it's machinery. The decisions made here ripple everywhere, from taxes to legislation, to civil rights, and even to war. It is here where principles became government. Now, let's go north where another kind of power rises, in New York City. Here is the financial capital and the center of culture. We discover the might of the media and learn about immigration and its role in the growth of a nation. The New York skyline is ambition made visible. It's about the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. They remind us that America's story is written by arrivals. It is bold, dynamic, always in motion. Between Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., the water tells its own story. Next, we arrive in Baltimore, a center of defense, a city of resilience. We visit the Inner Harbor and walk the grounds of Fort McHenry, where the spark was lit for the national anthem. Then, it's on to Annapolis and its brick streets. This city's sails are in the wind. It's the home of the U.S. Naval Academy, and its maritime heart is still beating. But let's not overlook New Jersey and Delaware, the connective tissue, Newark and Princeton, Trenton, where revolutionary winds shifted history, Delaware, first to ratify the Constitution, small places where history feels personal and close. In Dover, visitors can explore colonial sites and government buildings that reflect the early days of the Republic. Then there's Gettysburg. Its fields are quiet, yet they bring thunderous meaning. Here in 1863, unity was tested. The course of the nation changed. It's not just preserved, it's reflective. But beyond this core, the circle widens. We learn about Pittsburgh's grit to innovation and visit Buffalo, gateway to the Great Lakes. In Albany, policy in the State House. And Atlantic City offers its boardwalk Americana. What makes this corridor different is connection. I-95 stitches it together. Scenic byways pull you deeper. In one trip, experience cobblestones and battlefields, explore global cities and working waterfronts. There is so much history, yet so little distance. And the flavor matters. Experience Philadelphia's markets, Baltimore's delicious seafood. Learn about New York's global kitchen. Discover DC's international mix. To know a place, you taste it. As America turns 250, this corridor shows where the nation began, strengthened, struggled, and still evolves today. From Philadelphia's stones to DC's marble, New York's skyline to Gettysburg's fields, this is where America comes together. This is the Power Corridor, and this is America 250. Next up, the Southeast. From revolution to civil rights, ideals are tested and challenged and reshaped. The next chapter of America 250 begins now. In the Southeast, the American story runs deeper. It is a region where the nation's ideals were not only born, but tested, challenged, and ultimately transformed. Across Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas, every mile tells a story. A story of freedom, of struggle, of progress. From Revolutionary War battlefields to civil rights landmarks, from Appalachian byways to Gulf Coast shores, the Southeast offers one of the most meaningful journeys in America. The journey begins in Virginia, where America first took root. Walk the streets of colonial Williamsburg, stand at Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement, and visit Yorktown, where independence was won when the British under Cornwallis surrendered to American forces led by General George Washington. In Richmond, the story deepens, a reminder of a divided nation and the long road toward healing. And along the Blue Ridge Parkway, the past unfolds beside one of America's most iconic scenic drives. A special thank you to Visit Wheeling, West Virginia for their support of the Byways Incredible Travel Destinations channel. In West Virginia, Harper's Ferry stands at the crossroads of history. Here, John Brown's raid helped ignite a nation on the brink of war. In Kentucky, rolling hills and horse country give way to history. A special thank you to Oldham County, Kentucky Tourism for their support of the Byways channel. At Abraham Lincoln's birthplace, the story of leadership begins. In Tennessee, music and history share the stage. Nashville sings with the sound of country music, while Memphis echoes with the legacy of the civil rights movement. In North Carolina, the Great Smoky Mountains rise in quiet majesty, America's most visited national park, where nature tells its own timeless story. In South Carolina, Charleston preserves the elegance of the past, while Myrtle Beach welcomes a new generation of travelers. Savannah, where history lives beneath moss-draped oaks, and Atlanta, where the future rises, while honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In Alabama, the civil rights movement changed America forever. From Montgomery to Selma, these are places of courage and change. A special thank you to Experience Montgomery, Alabama, for supporting the Byways channel and helping us share the remarkable stories, history, and hospitality that make Montgomery such a memorable destination.
Montgomery moves you in ways you'll never forget. Here, courage lives on as you walk in the footsteps of giants. Be where Rosa Parks stood her ground. Feel the power of truth at the National Memorial for Peace and Justice. This is history that changes you, and a city that welcomes you. Be moved in Montgomery.
In Mississippi, the blues was born, a powerful expression of hardship and hope. In Louisiana, culture comes alive. New Orleans blends French, Spanish, African, and Caribbean influences into something uniquely American. Beyond the city, the bayous preserve traditions passed down through generations. In Florida, history stretches back centuries. St. Augustine stands as America's oldest European settlement, while Miami and Orlando reflect a global, modern America where cultures meet and the world gathers. In Arkansas, the fight for equality shaped a generation. At Little Rock Central High School, history changed the course of education in America. And beyond, Scenic Byways reveal a quieter, equally powerful story. Across the Southeast, every road connects past and present. From Asheville's creative energy, to Birmingham's powerful landmarks, to Florida's vibrant coastlines. This is a region built for exploration. Byways, scenic highways, and historic routes link together one of America's greatest journeys. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, The Southeast reminds us that the nation's story is not simple, but it is meaningful. This is where freedom was tested, where progress was earned, and where the American journey continues. In the Southeast, you don't just learn history, you experience it with each destination visited. Next up is the Great Lakes and Midwest. Stay with us as we continue our America 250 journey across the United States. The American story doesn't stand still. It moves, it builds, it works. And nowhere is that story more alive than in the Great Lakes and Midwest. Here, across states like Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, and the Dakotas, America found its rhythm. This is where ideas became industries, where farmland fed a nation, and where railroads and waterways connected everything together. For travelers, the Midwest isn't just a destination. It's a journey through the places that built America. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, this region powered the country forward. Immigrants from Germany, Ireland, Poland, and Scandinavia brought skills, culture, and determination. Railroads turned cities into crossroads. The Great Lakes became inland highways. Iron ore, coal, grain, everything moved through here. And in many ways, it still does. The journey often begins in Chicago, a city built on ambition. Rising along Lake Michigan, Chicago became the Midwest's gateway, where rail, road, and water meet. Today, it's a cultural powerhouse, and the perfect starting point for exploring the region. From steel mills in Ohio to automobile factories in Michigan, the Midwest didn't just grow with America, it built it. Communities formed around factories, cities expanded with opportunity, and today, many of those spaces have been reborn as museums, markets, and cultural hubs. This is a region that doesn't stand still. It adapts, reinvents, moves forward. Beyond Chicago, Illinois opens into farmland and history. A special thank you to Visit Springfield for their generous support of the Byways Incredible Travel Destinations channel. In Springfield, the legacy of Abraham Lincoln lives on, and along Route 66, the Midwest connects to the Great American Road Trip. In Indiana, the crossroads of America, everything connects. We're grateful to Shipshewana-LaGrange County Convention and Visitors Bureau for helping bring the Byways Incredible Travel Destinations channel to life. From the racing legacy of Indianapolis to the quiet back roads of Amish country and Shipshewana, Indiana tells a story of innovation, tradition, and heartland pride, where handcrafted heritage, welcoming small towns, and rural landscapes remain an important part of America's journey. Ohio tells a story of industry, innovation, and influence. A special thank you to Visit Chillicothe, Ohio for their support of the Byways Incredible Destinations travel channel. From the energy of Cleveland and Cincinnati to the historic streets of small towns like Chillicothe, Ohio reflects the spirit of America through its rich presidential history, scenic byways, river communities, and enduring Midwestern charm. In Michigan, the automobile changed the world, and the legacy still drives forward. Wisconsin blends tradition with natural beauty. From the vibrant waterfronts of Milwaukee to the rolling dairy farms and world-famous cheese traditions that define the state, Wisconsin offers visitors a true taste of the Midwest, where small-town hospitality and agricultural heritage remain deeply rooted in America's story. In Minnesota, water meets wilderness, the land of 10,000 lakes. A special thank you to Visit Greater St. Cloud, Minnesota for their support of the Byways channel, inviting travelers to discover a vibrant Mississippi River city filled with scenic beauty, local flavor, arts, culture, and year-round outdoor adventure. Iowa, the agricultural heartland, and in Missouri, the Midwest becomes the gateway to the West. A special thank you to the Carthage Civil War Museum for their support of the Byways Incredible Travel Destinations channel. Missouri invites travelers to explore the crossroads of American history, culture, and classic road trip adventure.
In Carthage, Missouri, history comes alive at the Battle of Carthage Civil War Museum. On July 5, 1861, Union forces under Colonel Franz Sigel met Missouri State Guardsmen led by Governor Claiborne Fox Jackson in one of the Civil War's earliest major battles. Today, visitors can explore artifacts, exhibits, a detailed battle diorama, and a dramatic 7 by 15-foot mural by artist Andy Thomas. Located at 205 Grant Street in historic Carthage, the museum offers free admission and a powerful look at Missouri's divided Civil War past. Plan your visit to the Battle of Carthage Civil War Museum in historic Carthage, Missouri, where America's story is remembered.
In Nebraska, the landscape opens wide across the Great Plains, where pioneer history, agricultural strength, and endless horizons define the journey. Kansas offers a quieter rhythm, a place of rolling prairie, historic trails, and small towns that reflect the spirit of the American heartland. In North Dakota, the Midwest meets the frontier, with rugged landscapes, energy development, and a deep connection to the land. And in South Dakota, dramatic scenery takes center stage, from the Badlands to the Black Hills where natural beauty and American history come together. But the Midwest isn't just cities, it's fields of corn and soybeans, family farms, and small towns where life moves at a different pace. This is America's breadbasket, and its backbone. Traveling here isn't about rushing, it's about the journey. A quiet highway, a roadside cafe, a town you didn't plan to visit. This is where the Midwest reveals itself, mile by mile. The Midwest's story is told through its people, through food, tradition, and community. From Chicago's kitchens to Missouri barbecue, every meal tells a story. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, the Midwest stands as a reminder that this nation was built through hard work, innovation, and belief. From the skyline of Chicago, to the farmlands of Iowa, to the factories of Detroit. This is the story of a nation at work. And here, it's still being written. Explore more incredible destinations with Byways, and discover the roads that tell America's story. As we move on from the Great Lakes and the Midwest, our next stop is the Southwest as we continue our America 250 journey across the United States. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, the story of the nation opens wide in the Southwest, a place of vast horizons, deep cultural roots, and landscapes that stretch beyond imagination. From the highways of Oklahoma to the deserts of Arizona, this is where the American journey expands, bold, resilient, and deeply connected to the land. Oklahoma. The Mother Road begins in Oklahoma. The Southwest begins with motion, historic trails, railroads, and the legendary Route 66 all converge here, carrying travelers westward. In cities like Tulsa and Oklahoma City, the spirit of the Mother Road lives on, in glowing neon signs, restored service stations, and roadside memories of America's golden age of travel. But Oklahoma's story runs deeper. Home to 39 federally recognized tribes, this is a place where Native American heritage shapes the present as much as the past. From the powerful exhibits at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum to the solemn reflection at the Oklahoma City National Memorial, this is where the American journey gains new depth. Texas, bigger than expected. Everything is bigger in Texas, including its role in the American story. In San Antonio, the Alamo stands as a symbol of resilience and independence. Just steps away, the Riverwalk brings the modern Southwest to life, vibrant, cultural, and full of energy. In Austin, creativity drives the future. Music, technology, and innovation shaping a new identity. While in Fort Worth and Dallas, Western heritage meets modern growth. But beyond the cities, Texas reveals its quieter side. Rolling hills, winding back roads, and in the distance, the dramatic beauty of Big Bend National Park. Here, the land stretches endlessly, and the sky feels just as vast. New Mexico, the land of enchantment in New Mexico. The Southwest becomes something more introspective, a place where art, culture, and history blend seamlessly. In Santa Fe, adobe architecture and centuries-old traditions create a timeless atmosphere. Nearby, the Taos Pueblo stands as a living testament to endurance, a community continuously inhabited for over 1,000 years. In Albuquerque, the skies come alive each year during the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, a celebration of color, culture, and connection. And beyond the cities, the surreal beauty of White Sands National Park invites quiet reflection. Here, the American story isn't just about expansion, it's about continuity, tradition, and place. Arizona, icons of the American West. If one place defines the visual spirit of the Southwest, it's Arizona. At the heart of it all, the awe-inspiring Grand Canyon, a landscape that reminds us just how vast this country truly is. But Arizona's story stretches far beyond one landmark. In Monument Valley, towering sandstone formations have shaped the image of the American West for generations. In Sedona, red rock landscapes meet art, spirituality, and adventure. And in Tucson, centuries of cultural blending, from Native American to Spanish and Mexican, come alive through food, architecture, and tradition. Meanwhile, Phoenix represents the Southwest today, growing, evolving, and looking ahead. The road trip experience. In the Southwest, the journey is everything. Highways stretch across open land, connecting historic towns, national parks, and cultural landmarks. From Route 66 to New Mexico's Turquoise Trail, every mile tells a story. This is road travel on a grand scale, perfect for motorcoach groups and independent explorers alike. America 250. As America marks 250 years, the Southwest reminds us that the nation's story is as vast as its landscape. This is where cultures converged, where the frontier tested limits, and where the spirit of independence still shapes the road ahead. For Byways travelers, this is more than a destination. It's one of the most unforgettable chapters in the American journey. Because here, the road doesn't just lead forward, it opens outward and keeps on going. Stay tuned as we continue our America 250 journey by visiting our final region, the vast American West. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary in 2026, few regions tell the national story with more sweep, drama, and diversity than the far West and Pacific. This is the America of mountain passes and ocean harbors, desert basins and fertile valleys, gold camps and railroad towns, national parks and coastal highways. It is a region shaped by native peoples, explorers, miners, ranchers, railroad builders, conservationists, and travelers drawn westward by the promise of the horizon. For visitors, the far west is not simply a destination, it is a journey. California. California has long occupied a special place in the American imagination. The discovery of gold in 1848 transformed the region almost overnight, bringing fortune seekers from around the world and helping shape California's rapid rise to statehood. San Francisco became America's gateway to the Pacific, a city of hills, harbor views, and immigrant stories. Farther south, Los Angeles emerged from Spanish ranch lands into one of the world's great centers of entertainment, aerospace innovation, and cultural reinvention. But perhaps California's greatest attraction is the road itself. Highway 1 and US 101 trace the Pacific coastline through redwood forests, seaside villages, and dramatic ocean cliffs. The Pacific Coast Highway between Monterey, Big Sur, and San Luis Obispo remains one of America's most unforgettable scenic drives. Inland, Yosemite, Sequoia, and Kings Canyon National Parks showcase the grandeur that helped inspire America's conservation movement. Oregon. Oregon is deeply tied to one of the great migration stories in American history. Thousands of settlers followed the Oregon Trail westward in search of fertile land and new beginnings. Today, visitors can still experience that legacy through historic sites and communities shaped by the Wagon Road era. The Columbia River Gorge remains one of the Pacific Northwest's great scenic treasures. The historic Columbia River Highway was designed not merely as transportation, but as an experience. Waterfalls, overlooks, and dramatic cliffs continue to draw travelers from around the world. Along the coast, US 101 passes lighthouses, fishing towns, sea stacks, and windswept beaches. From Astoria to Brookings, Oregon's coastline captures the spirit of the open road beside the Pacific Ocean. Washington. Washington brings together ocean waters, volcanic peaks, evergreen forests, and vibrant cities. Long before statehood, native nations shaped the region through deep connections to rivers, salmon, and the sea. Seattle grew into one of America's great Pacific port cities, known today for maritime heritage, aviation, technology, and music. Beyond the cities, Washington offers remarkable road journeys. The Cascade Loop winds through mountain towns and alpine scenery. Mount Rainier towers above forests and valleys, while Olympic National Park combines rugged coastline, rainforest, and glacier-carved mountains. Eastern Washington reveals another landscape entirely. Vineyards, wheat fields, and open skies stretching toward the horizon. Nevada. Nevada is a state of mining camps, desert highways, and wide open spaces. The discovery of the Comstock lode in 1859 brought national attention and wealth to Virginia City, helping shape Nevada's identity as the Silver State. Today, Virginia City still preserves the atmosphere of the Old West. Nevada's highways cross broad basins and isolated mountain ranges in one of America's most distinctive driving experiences. US 50, the loneliest road in America, follows portions of the old Pony Express route through remote communities and desert landscapes. Then there is Las Vegas, a city built on reinvention, spectacle, and entertainment. Nearby Hoover Dam stands as one of the greatest engineering achievements of the 20th century. Colorado. The spirit of the Rocky Mountain West is embodied in Colorado. Gold discoveries in the late 1850s transformed the region and created mining towns that still attract visitors today. Denver grew into the mile-high city, a gateway to the Rockies and one of the West's major cultural centers. Colorado's scenic highways are legendary. The Million Dollar Highway, Trail Ridge Road, and the San Juan Skyway wind through towering peaks and historic mining communities. Towns like Durango, Silverton, Telluride, and Leadville preserve memories of frontier ambition and railroad history. Mesa Verde National Park tells a far older story. Its cliff dwellings preserve the remarkable architecture and cultural legacy of the ancestral Pueblo people, reminding travelers that the history of the American West began long before modern settlement. Utah. Utah's landscapes are among the most recognizable in North America. Red Rock Canyons, towering arches, and vast desert skies define a landscape unlike anywhere else. The state's national parks, Zion, Bryce Canyon, Arches, Canyonlands, and Capitol Reef, form one of America's greatest collections of scenic wonders. Salt Lake City remains the cultural and historical center of Utah, founded by Mormon pioneers in 1847. Nearby, Promontory Summit marks one of the most important moments in American transportation history. The completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869 united East and West and forever changed the nation. Utah's highways continue to inspire travelers today. Scenic Byway 12 and routes near Moab and Monument Valley have become visual symbols of the American West itself. Wyoming. Wyoming stands at the heart of America's westward migration story. The Oregon Trail, California Trail, and Pony Express all cross this rugged landscape. Places like Independence Rock and Fort Laramie still reveal the risks and determination of 19th century pioneers. Wyoming also helped shape the nation's conservation legacy. Yellowstone became the world's first national park in 1872. Its geysers, waterfalls, wildlife, and vast wilderness inspired the idea that certain places should be preserved for all people. Nearby Grand Teton National Park offers some of the most iconic mountain scenery in North America. A special thank you to Sweetwater County, Wyoming for their support of the Byways channel. Flaming Gorge captivates visitors with its striking red canyon walls, scenic byways, abundant recreation, and unforgettable Rocky Mountain vistas. From Cody to Cheyenne, Wyoming preserves the spirit of the Old West through ranching, railroads, and wide-open landscapes. Idaho. Idaho rewards travelers willing to explore beyond the expected. Its landscapes range from mountain lakes and river canyons to volcanic lava fields and fertile farmland. Lewis and Clark crossed what is now Idaho with the help of native peoples who understood the difficult terrain of the northern Rockies. Later, emigrant trails, mining camps, and railroads shaped the state's development. The Snake River Canyon near Twin Falls remains one of Idaho's most dramatic landscapes. Scenic routes through the Sawtooth Mountains and Salmon River country reveal the rugged beauty that defines the state. At Craters of the Moon National Monument, ancient lava fields create an almost otherworldly landscape unlike anywhere else in America. Montana's Big Sky Country identity is well-deserved. The state combines rugged mountains, sweeping prairies, native heritage, and some of America's greatest scenic drives. The Lewis and Clark expedition crossed Montana during its journey westward, followed later by miners, ranchers, and railroad builders. Historic towns like Butte preserve stories of mining wealth and frontier life. Glacier National Park's Going to the Sun Road ranks among the finest mountain highways in North America. Together with Yellowstone, Montana offers travelers unforgettable connections to wilderness, conservation, and the enduring romance of the West. Alaska. Alaska brings an immense northern dimension to America's story. This is a land of glaciers, mountains, forests, and remote highways, where distance itself becomes part of the adventure. Native cultures shaped Alaska long before it became part of the United States in 1867. Gold Rush communities, such as Skagway, still preserve the spirit of the frontier era. The Alaska Highway and Seward Highway remain legendary road trips through landscapes unlike anywhere else on the continent. Denali National Park showcases North America's highest peak and some of the nation's most spectacular wilderness. In Alaska, America's frontier story still feels alive. Hawaii. Hawaii adds a unique Pacific chapter to the American story. Its history is rooted in native Hawaiian culture, ocean voyaging, and volcanic landscapes shaped by fire and sea. Before statehood, Hawaii was an independent kingdom with its own rulers and traditions. Today, sites such as Iolani Palace preserve that royal heritage. Pearl Harbor remains one of America's most significant historic landmarks, honoring those who lost their lives during the attack of December 7, 1941. Across the islands, scenic drives reveal lush valleys, waterfalls, dramatic coastlines, and volcanic landscapes. From Maui's Road to Hana to Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, Hawaii reminds travelers that America's story stretches far into the Pacific Ocean. Taken together, the far west and Pacific states tell a story larger than any single highway or landmark. They reveal how America expanded, connected, conserved, and imagined itself. These are places where roads follow old trails, where rivers guided exploration, where railroads linked coasts, and where scenic byways still invite travelers to slow down and experience the journey. From California's Pacific shoreline to Alaska's northern wilderness, from Oregon's coast to the red rock country of Utah, the far west continues to define the American adventure. As America turns 250, this remarkable region reminds us that the nation's story has always been about movement. Westward, outward, upward, and onward, toward the next horizon. Now, enjoy our music video, America 250, with original music from Byways' own music label, Byways and Highways, now available on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube Music.
From the cobblestones of Boston, where the story began, to the streets of Philadelphia, where they took their stand. Ink on paper, a daring dream, 250 years of what freedom means. Down the roads where the rebels rode, through the fields where the first flags flowed, every mile tells a tale we know. Freedom's fire still burns below. America 250, hear the highways call. From sea to shining sea, there's a road for us all. America to Fifth Key. From the plains to the red rock canyons, to the coast where the waves roll on, through the bayou nights and the prairie skies, you can see forever in America's eyes. Every highway